let's check this out. We're gonna watch the rocket blow up here. Hold on. Where am I at here? All right. Y'all ready?
Elon Musk. On Thursday, a SpaceX Starship rocket exploded just minutes into its test flight. The FAA temporarily stopped air traffic around Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Orlando. It is the second consecutive Starship test flight from Elon Musk's company.
Y'all still want to go to Mars fucking with Elon?
Yeah, all I can think about was, I can't sing.
No, please don't. That's good. That's good. We got it. We understand how painful that was for y'all out there. Just as watching things blow up.
This is where you tell us that you starred as Glinda in your
you better
production of Wicked.
No. But I've done a number of shows. But anyway.
Why did they let him put this rocket up in the air after they were still investigating the last explosion?
All right, I will stop there because that is a good question. Why did they let him shoot off another rocket when the last rocket just blew up and they still investigating the last rocket? Do they just have money to burn like that? Is that what I'm to understand? That they can just burn up rocket money like that? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying it seems like you gotta, like, when you blow up a rocket, you should have like a waiting period before you fire off another rocket. And now you've fired off 2 rockets, and you want us to be comfortable with jumping on one of those rockets to either go to Mars or utilizing one of those rockets to go get somebody off the space station. I don't know. But I'll let these folks, they're making fun of them, though. That's the part that's messed up. They're laughing about it. But you don't know, man. A damn door or something off the rocket can come down and kill somebody. That's a dangerous situation.
Well, see, this is the thing. And that's probably why it exploded. But the thing to keep in mind is,
let's see where they go with it.
My suggestion for Elon, his response to all of this was rockets are hard. And Mr. Musk, if they're so hard, why don't you go back to your day job and work that out? And leave those of us who do government to do government, because you can't do both. And clearly you're failing right now at both.
They're taking shots at
the rockets are blowing up and the government's blowing up. So I suggest you concentrate on the one thing you think you know more about and do that. And leave the rest to those of us who know a little bit of how to provide services to people who need them and make the government function. Not to say that it can't be changed. Yeah, there are changes that need to be made in government, just like there may be some changes you need to do with your rocket program so the ish don't blow up every time it goes up in the sky, because that's billions of dollars wasted too. I think there should be a federal investigation. I think those should take a close look at how those dollars are being spent right now, because clearly we're not getting our money's worth. So just a thought.
There's a ground stop.
Because rockets are hard.
Yo, rockets are hard is such a basic answer. I'm sorry. So what happened, man? Shit. Rockets are hard, man. Woo! You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best he could come up with. But I guess that's all you can say. You can't say it's not rocket science, because it is rocket science. So, you know, we always use rocket science as like the comparatively high level of education it takes to do stuff, right? Hey, it's not rocket science, but this is actually rocket science. So rockets might be hard. I don't know. I've never fired off a rocket into space and had it get caught on the way back down. And just like they put in the chat, before we used to just drop them in the ocean. They used to fire off, and then they would just fall back in the ocean, like the rockets or whatever would peel off and just drop wherever. So I don't think that was much safer. But I just think it's messed up how they making fun of them. Like, you need to go back to your day job, man. Can't figure out a rocket? What's wrong with you, man? You need to go spend some more time figuring out rocket science. Like, that is funny as hell to me. The one thing we use as a comparatively tough thing to figure out, Elon comes back with rockets are hard. And then it's like, yeah, it is rocket science. So, I don't know. But that's Purple Groovy in the chat. I see you in there. Thank you for stopping through. I have to definitely agree, and we did say this a moment ago, he's supposed to be sending a rocket out there to go pick some people up and bring them back. That's the whole thing with the landing and that they're working on, right? I'm not trying to, I don't know about these rockets, bro. You done blew up 2 of them straight. You only get 1 chance to bring the humans back. So you can't blow up 2 straight. Your odds, you just messed your stats up, as they would say. Your stats is done. He's got to get through like 10 successful launches at this point before anybody's even going to think about getting on a rocket that Elon and them to put together. So as a result of it, it's crashing the stock on SpaceX and Tesla because that's all Elon stuff. In addition to that, people are lashing out at Tesla and sending Elon death threats all over, I guess, his role in the so-called government, which honestly, like, this is getting crazy. But let me let them finish because they making fun of him, and it was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. Like, they being mean, but at least I can see the humor in it. Like, bro, if you're having trouble launching your rockets and not blowing them up, maybe you should go spend some more time on that. Get that together before you go trying to run the government. And I get that. That's an interesting sentiment, but it makes sense.
Government.
Alicia, there was a ground stop. Like, yes, perhaps Mr. Musk needs to take a tougher tact and look at what his quote unquote real job is, because this rocket blowing up affected airports in Fort Lauderdale and Miami. There was a ground
3
stop.
or 4 jurisdictions, ground stop.
But
and that costs
passengers
money. All right.
Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
Did you guys see the tweet from Representative Jasmine Crockett about this?
Oh, yes. Please put it
How
up
is
there.
it the guy that keeps blowing stuff up literally and figuratively is firing people claiming that they are failures? We know his failures have nothing to do with DEI because he doesn't believe in it, but he'd possibly be succeeding right now if he did. You see, clearly there's a lot of unqualified people running this thing.
Well, there you go. Like I said,
back to Simone's metaphor. Remember the we couldn't figure it out. The thermostat, the thermometer, which one you wanted to be. This is also a perfect metaphor, right? For the fact that he is just doing things that he can't quite figure out how to do. And meanwhile, it is real people who are suffering the consequences. All those people whose planes were circling the skies, waiting to land, who could not land because he can't figure out his rocket business.
Come on now, this is not a Tesla factory. This is the United States government.
Well, we've seen the Teslas on fire too. So.
Well, we have actually. This is the plan, maybe, to tear it all up. That's what
I think the brother needs to do some work at home.
Ooh, well, y'all,
your roof is leaking.
That does it for the weekend.
Yo, that was brutal, man. Hold on a second, man. Jeez. Let me tell you what. That was brutal at the end of it. Like, they just would not let up. But at the end of the day, they don't know shit about rockets either. So, you know, and they talk about that you should let them run the government. No, y'all should just run the news. Y'all aren't government officials. So let's start there. But at the end of it, they started laughing about the Tesla dealerships being set on fire. That's messed up. That's messed up. Like, we were literally getting ready to get into that story. I didn't even know that that's where they were going to end, but that's where they ended. Was they're kind of like joking about millions of dollars being lost in rockets exploding and millions of dollars in damage from people destroying Tesla dealerships. So I'm hoping you guys are following this because Donald Trump is a damn genius. As much as people hate Trump, I didn't think it was possible for them to hate anybody more than Trump. I didn't think it was possible. They have made it so that, like, people literally hate Elon Musk so much that they're sending him death threats. They are attacking his dealerships. Obviously, he's getting made fun of on the news. Like, this dude, Trump was smart. He had to put somebody out there to catch them shots. And I didn't think it would be Elon Musk, but Elon got set up. Elon put some money up into it so that he could basically blow up some rockets, which he's done. But at the end of the day, what's the cost? People literally do want this guy unalived. Like, they're really talking about it. And on the internet and all that kind of stuff. And it only takes one crazy mother, you know what I'm saying, to get too close. That's all I'm saying. Now, Elon might not be the best guy, but I don't think he should get assassinated or anything like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that. That's me, because I'm one of those people. I heard a guy got a death penalty by firing squad the other day. I was like, damn, he must have asked for that a while ago. But nonetheless, hold on. I'm going to bring you into what they're doing to the Tesla dealerships, because I just think y'all need to understand that this is problematic. This is problematic to me because we done took the shit too far. Okay? We have literally taken it too far. Anytime a Tesla dealership is just getting vandalized for the sake of, I guess, trying to annoy Elon Musk, that is when they've taken it too far. Like I said, let me bring it over, because I don't like this at all. This to me seems wasteful. But let's talk about it. Zoom to. There it goes. All right, so guys, we've got, who's this guy again? This is the Fox News dude. I can't remember his name. I think it was just Waters or something. He's behind me on this shot that y'all can see. But he's going to talk about what's going on with the Tesla dealerships. And I just want y'all to get to hear this story because it seems interesting to me. Just think it's interesting. So y'all stay with me. Beef Cack. I don't know what's going on with that. That's an interesting name as well. Thank you for stopping in the chat. Draco, what's up, man? Haven't seen you yet. See you stopping in as well. So let's talk about
Told
this.
you last night that deranged leftists are vandalizing Teslas and firebombing dealerships across the country. Well, we just found out another dealership in Oregon was just shot up. Watch.
Roughly 40 protesters gathered here at the Southwest Cascade Avenue Tigard Tesla dealership for a protest. They're calling it the Rally to Restore Democracy. They were protesting against President Donald Trump, Elon Musk, the Doge cuts, and also the tariffs at the border. This protest is only hours after police report that this Tesla dealership was hit by multiple gunshot rounds overnight. Investigators believe at least 7 shots were fired, damaging 3 cars and shattering windows. 1 bullet went through an office wall and into a computer monitor. This incident comes after a string of vandalism attempts for Teslas and Tesla dealerships across the nation.
Primetime's also obtained new photos of the man who firebombed the Tesla dealership in Salem, Oregon, causing $500,000 worth of damage. Surveillance photos show him walking towards the Tesla dealership in a black burqa before chucking Molotov cocktails at the building. Red Tesla burst into flames. There you go. Then the suspect hurled a rock at the dealership window and shattered it. That's when more random projectiles were thrown, damaging other cars in the area. When investigators arrived on the scene, they found more Molotovs in the parking lot. Political unrest from the radical left's brewing. After Trump got shot, the left was told to tone down the rhetoric, or the violence would get worse. Some listened. They stopped calling Trump Hitler and started using names of other dictators.
I've watched this guy use television like nobody's ever done. It is Mussolini. It's about believing the leader in what he says verbatim. And that's what Trump does on television. And he's using us to do it, using the medium.
The media doesn't think he's a fascist. They say he's a revolutionary.
This country is being turned upside down, and Donald Trump is the revolutionary who's going to incite revolution if he doesn't stop this crap.
So what are Democrats going to do? Well, The View says they need to stop Trump by any means necessary, even if it means sacrificing their lives.
The Democrats are not meeting the moment. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights. This generation of Congress, they are not meeting the moment. This is an existential crisis.
Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna joins us now. Congresswoman, how much attention is Washington paying this rise in violence against Musk?
I would say that they are largely responsible. Jesse, I sit on House Oversight, and the rhetoric that we're hearing, not just when the cameras are on, but even off, I will tell you that I've heard conversations on the House floor where people have said that they know that Elon Musk hitting him, attacking him is actually good for their polling numbers. And so they're going to continue to do it. Now, as you know, Elon Musk just went on Joe Rogan the other day, has talked about how he has an increase in threat to his life. And so I would say that this scary rhetoric that we're hearing is also the same rhetoric that we heard about President Trump leading up into the 2024 election cycle. And remember, it's these crazy leftists that are actually partaking in these violent attacks. And so it's very concerning. Attacks on politicians is up at the highest time it's ever been in the last decade.
We're hearing about Ryan Ruth, but not much. It just seems like very mysterious. Nothing on the Butler guy. Nothing much on Ruth except that he had all these phones and he came back from Ukraine radicalized.
And there's a poll in there. I want to know what y'all think. Make sure you vote in that poll real quick. I think maybe, I said it months ago that we were taking rhetoric too far after they were trying to shoot Trump in the head. But I think we still have a problem here.
Would-be assassins that tried to assassinate President Trump were radicalized leftists. That's not just a made-up talking point from Republicans. That's a fact. We know the guy that was in court today actually had postings. He actually went to Ukraine. I mean, he was as radicalized as they get and literally thought that President Trump was going to be the end of Ukraine. Meanwhile, President Trump is actively working to establish peace in Ukraine and probably the only person in the world that could have done that. And so what I will tell you is what I'm finding on our end is that unless we push back heavily on this, it's just going to continue and it's unacceptable.
What's going on with the Epstein files? A couple weeks ago, that was kind of weird. What are you hearing?
I feel the same way that you do, Jesse, and I'm very frustrated, just like many Americans are. I think that those lists need to be released to the American people, and that's really up to the decision of Attorney General Pam Bondi. I can tell you that as a member of Congress, we have not really gotten much communication from the Department of Justice, but we are going to be continuing to put pressure because when the American people elected President Trump, they demanded transparency, and frankly, it's disturbing that more people aren't in jail for the crimes that were committed for trafficking people. And that's exactly what Jeffrey Epstein did. So I hope that she releases those files in entirety. And I frankly hope that she brings charges because what happened should have never been acceptable and people belong in jail.
I agree. And the guy who opposed or allegedly was holding those files back from her in the FBI office here in Manhattan has been fired. So we expect to see those soon. Anna Paulina.
Bro, they're not getting them Epstein files. They'll set that shit on fire. They not. Stop. Just leave it alone. He gone. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting that. If you can't get no information out of Ghislaine, the lady, Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever her name is, you're not getting that, bro. These people will live and die by that stuff. They're not playing. And if they didn't give it to the top dog who requested it, how you gonna get it then? You the top dog. So if the top dog can't get it, then who gonna get it? Leave it alone. I hate to say it. I'm sure there's some stuff in there that's damning to a lot of people, but we're not gonna get all that. Even if we do, we'll get some heavily redacted version of it. Nobody's going to jail for nothing. Just forget the Epstein files. But anyway, I'll let them finish because they only got 10 seconds left. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna let them finish. I'll keep it right here for a hot second here because I'm gonna get into this other piece. So I just want to know if what Anna Paulina Luna, I think is her name, she's basically talking, she took this over to the Epstein files, which is why I didn't really want to go into all of that. But the bottom line is Elon Musk has a problem. And his problem is that people think he's the devil now. And so anything that's connected to him is now in danger. It's as simple as that. Anything connected to him now is literally in danger. So what we have to do, because you never know when you're going to be standing by and somebody's going to pull off some dumb shit. You see what I'm saying? You'll be at the dealership and somebody decides they want to throw something through a window. So we got to calm all this shit down because eventually it's going to start to harm innocent people and not the person they're even trying to harm, which is Elon. Elon isn't even being touched by it. The stock market is having some issues from what I've heard, but that only affects a certain group as well. But what we are seeing is people are upset to the degree that they're willing to literally risk their lives to just be upset. There's no end to this. Like, what did this person who's destroying the Tesla dealership want? They want Tesla to just go out of business and not do any business? No, they just wanted to be destructive. And when your only point is to be destructive, you have no end game, no real goal, then you can't really be stopped because there's nothing that we can offer you to get you to not do the dumb shit. So this is a problem. So if rhetoric is what's driving it, which I do believe, if you keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again and you ain't really strong-minded, you can be turned into shit. That's how people get militarized and then go out there and do something crazy. And you're like, why'd they do that? And then you go look through their browser history and they've been ingesting all types of crazy stuff, right? So you got to think about it. Why would they want there to be always so much negative rhetoric? Because there's money in conflict. The money's in the conflict. You need more police officers. You need more troops. You need more weapons. You need more everything when there's a conflict. So in order to constantly keep pulling and getting more, you got to constantly have more conflict. And speaking of conflict, I want to bring you into this other piece of what's going on, which is the South Africa piece. I think a couple of y'all are hitting on that in the chat. Elon is South African. He's been naturalized as a citizen in America for like 20 years, right? And apparently in South Africa, there is like a reverse, I don't know if you can call it reverse racism, but in South Africa, they're trying to push the farmers out, and the farmers happen to be white farmers that are still in South Africa, left over from the apartheid time when the place was colonized. So Elon is technically supposed to be one of these colonizers. And he's also screaming racism. Right now, Elon is saying that they won't let him operate his Starlink situation in South Africa because he's white. And so Trump has paused all aid to South Africa, I believe, in retaliation for that. But he's offered the white farmers there basically asylum to come to the U.S. and start their farms here. Now, a lot of y'all may not know about all of that because that's not the major story that they're talking about right now. But Elon is really pushing for this whole white farmers thing. So right now, Donald Trump is making decisions in South Africa based on white racism. So it's like, instead of apartheid, which was the opposite, now there's like, I guess the people who were apartheided have gotten their numbers together, and they're basically pushing out the white farmers using what we know as eminent domain. So it's not against the law. So they're doing it, they're being slick about it. They're using the same colonizer game. They reversed it. They pulled the Uno reverse card on them, and they're slowly trying to move them out by taking over the land for government projects. And you can't go against that, because if it's a government project that's supposed to increase the infrastructure of the area, then you use eminent domain, which is what it is, and you just take over the property. So apparently that's what they're doing. In addition to, I've heard, I'm wondering about the coverage here, but I've also heard that there's been some violence involved in them also taking over these lands. Now, South Africa is denying all of that, but I don't know if they would necessarily own up to it if that's what they're doing, right? But the main thing I want y'all to understand is Elon Musk is now facing racism, or at least that's what he's called it, in addition to death threats, in addition to his businesses being vandalized, in addition to his rockets exploding. So right now, in my opinion, Elon Musk is not having the best 2025. Not the 2025 he thought he was going to have. But what I'm not going to have is billionaires who can go anywhere in the world to do whatever they want crying racism. That's what we're not going to do. If they don't want you to operate over there, they don't want you to operate over there. That's not your land. You can't just force yourself upon people like that. Apparently, people feel like they can force themselves upon the American public, which we allow to a degree. Okay? But Elon Musk crying racism because he can't operate Starlink in South Africa. And so Trump decides to take away HIV medication and aid to South Africa. Now, I wasn't aware that HIV was this rampant problem in South Africa. I didn't know that. But I also believe that South Africa should also have their own resources so they can take care of their own AIDS prevention. Like, what are we sending? Is that where the condoms were going? That they were talking about all the condoms? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I said, I think Trump should have stayed out of that whole South Africa thing. I think he should have just, if they want to be like reverse sort of racist, but they're doing it within somewhat legal terms, if there's actual violence going on, we got to deal with the violence in whatever way we got to deal with the violence. But they haven't really told me that. I'm hearing some things creep through, but I'm wondering why the media wouldn't cover it if there was a bunch of black people killing white people anywhere in the world. You see what I'm saying? That story would definitely incite some feelings among certain people. So why it wouldn't be a larger story, that's why I'm wondering about it. So I don't know to what extent this is really going on. But I do know that Trump has extended this asylum thing to all the white farmers who feel like they are being racially prosecuted through the legal system or, through lawfare in South Africa. So, all right. So Melissa's correcting me on the condom delivery. Thank you for your condom delivery fact checking on that. But either way, I would think that HIV prevention would probably include condoms. Maybe it wasn't, line item 1, but I would assume that would go along with, I don't know. They didn't come by here and ask me what I thought they should send in the HIV prevention box. So I don't know what to tell you. But what I am saying is that aid has been cut off. Whatever that was and whatever it was doing has now been cut from South Africa. But South Africa doesn't seem to care, is what I have noticed. South Africa was like, yeah, whatever, bro. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Y'all going at it in the damn in the chat. Like I said, if there's reports of the farmer murders, they got to deal with that correctly. The media's not really covering that. Yes, there might be a documentary. I'm sure there is. But if you want true outrage and you want everybody to side with Elon, then you would put that information out on Front Street. But because right now they want everybody to hate Elon, because Elon is a white South African, it's like they're making it okay to not like white people. Like, I'm telling you, if there was any city in the U.S. where a bunch of black people were just killing white people, right? Any city in the U.S., this would be major news. It would be major news. They'd probably have the National Guard out there. They would have curfew. It would be a whole situation. But this is going on in South Africa. And Biden and them and all of the presidents, they go to Africa all the time. It's the most resource-rich continent on the planet. They got trade deals we don't know about, where they pulling diamonds and all types of stuff out of those areas. And oil and I don't know what else they got everything over there, according to what I've heard. They got every resource somewhere in the ground in Africa, between the entirety of the continent. So Trump ain't gonna go over there and like militarize saving these white farmers. What he said to them is, hey, you can come over here, but guess what? We're not going over there. Think about it. He didn't say that. He didn't say that.